Before he ever called her Mom, she was just a woman, with quiet dreams and a simple life. Her name was Aisha. She wasn't asking for much. Just peace, stability, and a home filled with love. But the day she found out she was pregnant, everything changed. Not slowly. Not gently. Completely. Her body began to weaken, her energy faded, even the smallest tasks became difficult. But she never complained. Because inside her was someone she had never met. Yet already loved more than herself. The nights became longer. She would lie awake, one hand on her stomach, whispering softly, "Ya Allah, protect my child." Over and over again. No one heard those du'as. No one saw those tears. But Allah did. There were days she couldn't eat properly, days she felt too weak to stand, but if anyone asked her, "Are you okay?" she would smile and say, "I'm fine." Because she didn't want anyone to worry. What people didn't understand was this. A mother's sacrifice doesn't start when the child is born, it starts long before that. In pain, in patience, in silent du'a. And every time the baby moved, even just a little, her face would light up. As if all the pain disappeared for a moment, she would sit quietly, imagining the future. Will you look like me? Will you be strong? Will you love Allah? Little dreams, big hopes, all for someone who didn't even know she existed yet. But that's the thing about a mother's love, it doesn't wait to be seen. It doesn't wait to be appreciated. It just gives. And as the months passed, her body grew weaker, but her love grew stronger. She didn't know what kind of child he would become. She didn't know if he would understand her one day, or forget her sacrifices completely. But still, she chose to love him, with everything she had. And she had no idea that the same child she was making du'a for every night, would one day be too busy to even sit with her. The day finally came, the day she had been waiting for, and fearing at the same time. Her body was tired. Her strength was low. But her heart was full. The pain started slowly. A discomfort, then pressure, then something she had never felt before. It grew stronger. And stronger. Until it became unbearable. She held onto the bed, her fingers trembling. Her voice weak but whispering, "Ya Allah, help me." Again and again. No one could feel what she was feeling. No one could carry that pain for her. Because this was a journey every mother walks alone. Hours passed. Long, painful, exhausting hours. Her body felt like it was breaking. Her energy, almost gone. But she didn't give up. She couldn't. Because in her heart, there was only one thought, my child. Then finally, a cry. A small, fragile, beautiful cry. In that moment, everything changed. They placed him in her arms. Tiny. Helpless. Completely dependent on her. She looked at him, tears rolling down her face. Not from pain anymore, but from love. All the suffering, all the exhaustion, all the tears, suddenly felt worth it. She held him closer, as if she never wanted to let go. And in that quiet moment, she made a promise. Not with words, but with her heart. I will always be there for you. No matter what it costs me. And from that day, her life was no longer hers. It belonged to him. The nights that followed were nothing like before. No more full sleep. No more rest. Only cries, only responsibility, only sacrifice. But if you asked her, "Are you tired?" she would smile and say, "No. I'm okay." Because a mother doesn't measure her pain when it comes to her child. She carried him, fed him, stayed awake while the world slept, just to make sure he was okay. And every time he cried, her heart responded before anyone else even noticed. That's what a mother is. Not just someone who gives birth, but someone who gives everything. But as he grew older, the one who couldn't sleep without her would slowly become the one who didn't have time for her anymore. The world would go quiet at night, lights off, voices gone, everyone asleep. But not her. While others rested, Aisha stayed awake. The baby would cry. Soft at first, then louder. And before anyone else could even hear it, she was already there. Half asleep, barely able to open her eyes, but still, she carried him. Rocking him gently, whispering softly, "It's okay. I'm here." Over and over again. Her body was exhausted. Her back ached. Her eyes burned from lack of sleep. But she never complained. Not once. Sometimes, she would finally fall asleep, only to be woken up again. Minutes later. And still, she got up. Because to her, his cry mattered more than her rest. There were nights she didn't sleep at all. Not even for an hour. Just sitting there. Holding him close, making sure he was okay. And when he finally slept, she didn't rush back to her bed. She would just sit, watching him. As if she needed to be sure he was breathing. Safe. Protected. That's a mother. Not just someone who feeds you, but someone who loses herself, just to keep you comfortable. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and the exhaustion never really left. But neither did her love. Even when she was weak, even when she was tired, even when she had nothing left. She still gave. Because a mother doesn't love based on energy, she loves based on heart. And her heart never ran out. But the sad part is this. The child she stayed awake for every night would grow up one day and forget the nights she never slept. He would sleep peacefully, not knowing someone once stayed awake, just for him. As the years passed, the sleepless nights became normal. The exhaustion became part of her life. But something else was happening, something no one noticed. Aisha was slowly disappearing. Not physically. But everything that once made her, her, started fading. The things she loved, the things she enjoyed, the dreams she once had, one by one, she put them aside. Not because she had to. But because she chose to. If there was food left, she gave it to him. Even if she was hungry. If there was money, she spent it on him. Even if she needed something too. If there was time, she gave it to him. Even if she needed rest. It became a pattern. A silent habit. Choosing him over herself. Again. And again. And again. People would say, "You need to take care of yourself too." She would smile. And say, "I'm okay." But deep down, she was tired. Not just physically. But emotionally. Because giving everything and expecting nothing is not easy. Still, she continued. Because every time she looked at him, nothing else mattered. His smile was enough. His happiness was enough. Even if it meant losing parts of herself. That's what a mother does. She doesn't just raise a child, she sacrifices pieces of her life to build his. And the painful truth is this. Most children never notice it. They grow up thinking, it's normal. It's her responsibility. They don't see what she gave up to give them everything. And slowly, the child who was once her entire world becomes busy building his own. While she is left behind. Time passed, and the little boy who once couldn't sleep without her grew up. He had his own life now. Friends. Plans. A world outside the home. And slowly, without even realizing it, he began to drift. "Mom, I'm going out. I'll be back later." Later became late. Late became not at all. The house started to feel quieter. Not because it was empty, but because something was missing. His presence. His voice. His laughter. Aisha would sit sometimes, holding her phone. Scrolling through his contact. Wanting to call him, just to hear his voice. But she would stop herself. He's probably busy. I don't want to disturb him. So she stayed silent. Days passed like that. He would come home, but not really be there. Always on his phone. Always distracted. She would try to talk. How was your day? Fine. Short answers. No conversation. But she didn't complain. She just watched. Watched the child she raised become distant. The same child who once ran to her, now walked past her. The same child who once needed her, now barely noticed her. One evening, she gathered the courage. Her voice was soft. Almost hesitant. Can you sit with me for a while? He didn't even look up properly. I'm tired, Mom, maybe later. Later, that word again. She nodded. Smiled gently. Okay. But inside, something hurt. Not because he said no, but because she remembered all the times she never said no to him. And yet, she still didn't blame him. That's a mother. She feels the pain, but hides it behind a smile. It happened suddenly. A phone call. Short. Unexpected. Heavy. Your mother isn't feeling well. In that moment, everything else disappeared. The noise. The distractions. The excuses. Gone. He rushed. Heart racing. Thoughts scattered. And for the first time in a long time, he was afraid. Not for himself. For her. The same woman, who was always strong, always there, always available, now was weak. He sat beside her. She looked smaller somehow. Quieter. Not the strong figure he was used to. And suddenly, memories started flooding in. The nights she stayed awake. The times she fed him before herself. The way she always chose him, over everything. And then, the way he repaid her. I'm busy. Later. Not now. His chest tightened. Tears filled his eyes. He held her hand. Gently. As if afraid to hurt her. Mom. His voice broke. I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I should have been there. Tears fell. Not quiet tears. Heavy ones. The kind that come from regret. She slowly opened her eyes. Looked at him. And smiled. That same soft, loving, forgiving smile. Even now, she didn't remind him of his mistakes. She didn't complain. She didn't say, you hurt me. Instead, she said, it's okay. That's a mother. Even when you forget her, she never forgets you. Don't wait until fear teaches you love. Don't wait until regret teaches you value. If your mother is alive today, go to her. Call her. Sit with her. Because one day, you might want to hear her voice, and you won't be able to. The love you are ignoring today, is the love you may cry for tomorrow. If this touched your heart, like, share and subscribe, and please, make dua for your mother today.